3. Yankees and the Oakland Athletics have met each other this season 10 times. Yankees have taken 6 of the 10, and they have split the 4 games played here at the Coliseum. Welsh faced the Yankees in that recent series at Yankee Stadium. He pitched against them on the 23rd and lost the ball game. Well, he didn't. He was the A's lost the ball game. He was not involved in the decision game, which the Yankees won 5-4 when Don Mattingly singled in the bottom of the 9th inning to knock in the winning run. Welsh went 7 innings in that game and gave up 7 hits and 4 of the 5 Yankee runs. He struck out 4 and walked 3. You look at a fellow like Bob Welsh, and one of the things that he brings to this Oakland ball club is his playoff and World Series experience.
Yeah, he has experience. One of the other things that he brings when he goes to the mound is a pretty good fastball, a curveball. He'll change speeds every now and then, and he'll throw maybe 10 to 20 split finger pitches during the game. So he has 4 different pitches that he can take out there, and he usually has pretty good command of all 4.
I want to say that Welsh hasn't found things to be much different over here. You look at his record this season, 15-7. Last year in his final season with the Dodgers, he was 15-9. And the way he's going, he figures to win 2-3 more games before this season comes to an end. Ricky Henderson steps in, the leadoff hitter. Here's the wind and the first pitch of the game, and it's in there for a strike. 66-degree afternoon here in Oakland with, I won't say bright sunshine, but it is a sunlit afternoon. Here is the pitch to Ricky, and that's high for a ball. And you say, what's the difference? Well, the sun isn't directly overhead at this moment, which is going to make it a little bit easier in terms of pop-ups and fly balls. Now the 1-1 pitch, and Henderson fouls it straight back. Ricky Henderson comes into the ball game hitting .308. Ricky had a base hit in the 3rd inning of last night's game, which was a welcome sign for him. He had gone hitless up in Seattle. He had really struggled up there and was looking forward to getting out of there and getting outdoors again, particularly here. The pitch pulled toward 3rd. Lansford on a big bounce grabs it, throws to 1st. Henderson's out, 1 away. 5-3 on the putout at first base. And with 1 down, that'll bring up Willie Randolph. Yankees' next homestand gets underway Monday. That's Labor Day. The Indians come in later on in the week. The Tigers. Cleveland will be at the stadium Monday afternoon for a 4 o'clock game. Then Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 7:30. Then the Tigers Thursday and Friday nights, September 8th and 9th. Those are night games. Saturday, a 2:20 start at Yankee Stadium, and then a week from tomorrow on Sunday the 11th, 1:30. Pitch to Willie Randolph, in there for a strike. Jim Evans is the home plate umpire here this afternoon. Ted Hendry at first base, Al Clark at second, and Jim Joyce is the umpire at 3rd, replacing Dale Ford, who left the ball game last night. The pitch is high for a ball. Finished the game with 3 umpires working the contest when Ford became ill. Here's the pitch, and Randolph strokes it through the hole on the right side, a base hit. Willie Randolph, what a swing he put on that ball. I'm talking about, from time to time, a player directing the ball somewhere, and that's exactly what Willie Randolph did with that swing.
What a swing he's had since he's come back off the disabled list.
He has really hit the ball. He's hit it both hard and well, and there is a difference. This at-bat he just had, he hit the ball well in his ability to place the ball. Now here's Don Mattingly, and a balk has been called on Bob Welsh. Second base umpire Al Clark has just nailed Bob Welsh for failure to pause. I assume. I didn't see any other indication on the part of Clark. Meanwhile, the resident attorney is coming out to discuss the call. Tony La Russa, who does have a law degree. When you say that, he is out there trying to become fully informed as to what Bob Welch did out there.
Well, the Athletics lead the American League and the Major Leagues in a lot of different categories, and one of those is balks. That's their 72nd balk, and Welch now has tied his teammate Dave Stewart for the team lead. They each have 13 now.
Well, La Russa has filed his brief and is now leaving. Saw a ball game at Dodger Stadium a few years ago, and Welch just came out completely unglued. A balk had been called on him, and in those days that was rare. Now, it's obviously another story now. Here's a pitch to Mattingly, and he swings and pulls it to the right side. Gloved by Mcguire. Underhand toss at the bag to Welch for the out as Randolph moves to third. 2 away. Well, Mattingly retired on the 3-1 putout, and with 2 down, that'll bring up Dave Winfield.
Number 31, Dave Winfield.
What had happened, and maybe this eases the situation a little bit because guys now are used to having balks called, but it was just a case of a game in which he never quite got over the shock of having been called for a balk, and kept at it over a period of time with the umpire, and ultimately was thrown out of a game. Here's the pitch to Dave Winfield. He takes it low and away. Winfield hitting .331. Dave was hit with a pitch in last night's game, but stayed in the ball game. Welch to the plate, and Winfield lays off the slider. That's high, ball 2. 2-0.
Athletics have that big shift on in the infield, and we have seen a lot this year. Dave Winfield, especially with 2 men away and runner at third base, a chance to just get that base hit in the RBI. We've seen him take balls through that right side. There's a big hole over there.
Hubbard at second, playing almost behind the bag. Winfield moves back out of the way of an inside pitch. 3-0. What they'd like to do is pitch him and make him reach so that he'd pull the ball up the middle, and that's right where Hubbard is. Three balls, no strikes. The lead by Randolph, and the pitch to Winfield is in there for a strike. 3-1. In fact, Winfield hit a ball like that in last night's game, and
a rocket
was thrown out.
Yeah, double play ball.
3 balls, 1 strike. Welch looks at third, kicks and throws, and Winfield takes low outside, ball 4. And Dave Winfield draws a walk. The Yankees have runners at first and third with 2 out, and that'll bring up Jack Clark. Clark, lovingly remembered here in the Bay Area for his days with the San Francisco Giants. Those people across the bay. I don't know that there's really an intense feeling that exists. Here's the pitch to Clark, and a swing and a miss. A healthy cut for Jack Clark, but not a healthy result. 0-1 the count. Now the A's go about their business, and the Giants go about theirs. The feeling, the rivalry that exists is that and the feeling that this area may not be big enough to support both those teams. Welch's next pitch is inside to Clark. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm not sure that's true, but the ball clubs themselves seem to feel that way. They keep waiting for each other to move. Randolph at third. Winfield at first. The 1-1 pitch to Jack Clark. Called strike 2. Clark barking out a couple of words that probably would best be unheard by anybody other than those in the immediate area of home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Welch with a look into his catcher, Ron Hasse. Clark waving the bat back and forth. Winfield's running on the pitch. It's high inside, knocks Clark down. Winfield steals second base. Clark hit the dirt to get out of the way of that pitch as Winfield had taken off for second base. a stolen base. The Yankees have runners at second and third as Winfield, for the 8th time this season, steals.
You talk about Hasse being Welch's catcher. He is Welch's catcher. That's why he's in there today, even though a left-hander, Ron Guidry's pitching.
I think he's also had a fair amount of success against Guidry, too, as Clark starts to swing, and he fouled the pitch off, I believe. Did he foul tip it or not? Scoreboard still says 2-2. Well, maybe they called it ball. Yeah, he fouled it off.
Yeah, Hasse's had, number one, good success against Yankee pitching, but he is also always behind the plate when Welch pitches. They feel comfortable working together.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at second and third. While straddling the rubber, and Winfield tightens up a bit at second base. Clark's home run last night was his 23rd of the season. And now Clark tires of waiting for Welch. Heard Tommy John talk about his first major league victory, which was accomplished in 1 hour and 34 minutes. Welch can probably do that through the first 2-3 innings. Now the 2-2 pitch to Clark, and it's just outside, ball 3, and that was close.
Well, we got a couple of people upset. Clark was upset at a called strike. Now Welch is upset because that one wasn't a called strike.
Given the number of times that pitch has been called a strike to Clark, it's a wonder that you wouldn't take a cut at it. But Clark's trying not to give in. You know, not to the pitchers, but to the umpire. But he has been rung up many times on pitches just like that. 3 ball, 2 strike pitch, and Clark takes it low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Clark giving a pretty good stare at Bob Welch as he goes down the line after that pitch flipped him, the fastball that Welch came up and inside, and Jack wasn't too pleased about that, and he wanted to make Welch aware of that fact as he went down the first baseline.
Well, he may have done that. I don't see Bob shaking in his boots out there because he still holds the upper hand. As long as he got that baseball in his hand, he's controlling what's happening out there. But now here's Mike Pagliarulo, swings at a fastball and doesn't get it. So I always marveled at the way people talked about Bob Gibson. Boy, he was tough. You know, he'd do this, he'd do that to you. You know, he did. Hey, you got the ball in your hand and you want to hit somebody? That's easy. How hard is that? You tell me. Here's the pitch to Pags. That's in there for a called strike, too. Never quite understood that. You know, the guy was a heck of a pitcher. Nobody questions that. But when they talk about, you know, boy, yeah. See, put the ball down. Let's see how tough a lot of guys are. 0-2 to Pagliarulo. And the pitch, and Mike fouls it off.
You know, we've been talking a lot about the Yankees here in September, trying to turn it around and get it going here the last month. We've mentioned different players with Willie back in the lineup, Jack Clark, if he can get back on a good streak. Well, they need Mike Pagliarulo, too. Pags has not reached that level that he is used to, and they need some RBIs from this guy.
Well, they got 3 sitting there right now. Here's the pitch, and Pags fouls another one off. And, you know, you talk about that, you need him right now. In this at-bat, you know, how many opportunities in the course of a game are you going to have to come up there with the bases loaded? 0-2 the count. Randolph at third, Winfield at second. Clark at first, 2 out. Welch looks back at second. Now he throws 0-2, and Pagliarulo watches it sail high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the thing about Bob Welch, and you hear it said about pitchers often, but I know, and you know, it's true in his case, you better get him early. Pagliarulo waits, and the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3, and the side is retired. Chased a high fastball. No runs, 1 hit. Yankees leave the bases loaded, and after half an inning, New York nothing, Oakland coming to bat. Well, the month of September features two big and exciting weekend series at the stadium, so make sure you get your tickets now and be a part of the action when the Yankees and Tigers get together September 8th through the 11th. And don't forget Saturday, a week from today, Fan Appreciation Day. And the Red Sox come in for 3 games. Tell you about that in a moment as Tony Phillips steps in and Ron Guidry throws. The first pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. Red Sox are in September 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Tickets on sale at the stadium or through Ticketmaster. Phillips a switch hitter, batting right-handed. Guidry's next pitch misses inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Guidry making his first start since his most recent return from the disabled list. The 2-0 pitch, and that's low, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes.
Big crowd reacting between innings. They flashed a replay of a Jim Eisenreich home run. Kansas City's playing Minnesota. Kansas City has taken a lead 5-2 in that game, so they know. They're starting to post that magic number here in the newspapers.
Left-hander winds and delivers, and that's in for a strike. 3-1. Tony Phillips has been hitting 190, although as a right-handed batter, he's hitting 273. Swings and pops this one up back of first on the right field line. Going back is Mattingly. Randolph comes over, and Mattingly reaches up over his shoulder, makes the catch, going away. So a high pop foul up the first base line. 1 out, and that'll bring up Dave Henderson. Over the years, Guidry has defeated Oakland 18 times while losing only 7. Has not faced Oakland this season. Last year, he was 1-1 against them. It's only his 6th start this season. He has spent most of the year on the DL. In fact, the early part of the season was still recovering from the rotator cuff surgery he underwent last December. Here's the pitch to Henderson, and it's on the inside corner for a strike. Henderson was backing away from the pitch. 0-1 the count. Dave Henderson having a career season at .305, 21 homers, 76 RBIs, takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's right about now the Detroit Tigers are probably as much the talk of baseball for what's happened to them in the last couple of weeks. Henderson swings at a slider and doesn't get it. Tigers really struggling, and yet through it all, still on top by a game. But it's tightening up 1 through 4 in the division. Pitch to Henderson is swung on and missed, strike 3. Boy, he just was determined, Guidry, to work Henderson in, and got that first pitch for a strike, which really set up that whole at bat.
Yeah, Henderson can go back on the bench and untie himself because Ron Guidry in that at bat really tied him up. Good sliders and fastball inside.
Now here's Jose Canseco. Only the 2nd major league player to hit 30 or more home runs in his first 3 full seasons in the major leagues. Guidry to the plate, and Canseco takes on the inside corner for a strike. Chuck Klein to the Phillies was the first to do it back in 1929, 30, and 31. Powerfully built right-handed batter, and the pitch from Guidry popped it up first base way. Tapping the glove is Mattingly, and he puts it away. The side is retired, so Guidry sails through the first inning, 3 up, 3 down. After 1 at the Coliseum, Yankees nothing, Oakland nothing. All the latest styles, and while you're looking around, find your way to a voting booth on November 8th. Members only, and the League of Women Voters remind you there's no excuse not to vote. Gary Ward leads it off for the Yankees here in the top half of the second. Welsh throws, and the first pitch crowds Ward. It's inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Ward hitting .206, had a base hit in last night's game. Welsh delivers, and Ward fouls this one to the screen. talking about the Tigers before. Saw a note today that said they've scored 3 runs or less in 29 of their last 49 games. Now the pitch. Welsh takes a little something off of that one. It's high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Milwaukee pulled to within 6 games of first place. Now the 2-1 to Wardo, and he takes high inside. 3-1.
That's one of the reasons they wanted to go out and get some offensive help. Picked up Freddie Lynn.
They keep saying help is on the way. Now the 3-1 pitch to Ward, and that's high, ball 4. And Gary Ward opens the Yankee half of the second inning with a walk. The third walk issued by Bob Welsh. We'll pause for station identification on the New York Yankees radio network.
New York Yankee baseball on Talk Radio 77 WABC, New York's Yankee station.
Hank Greenwald with Tommy Hutton. We're at the Coliseum in Oakland. No score. Second inning. Runner at first and nobody out, and that will bring up Joel Skinner. Skinner had a look at Stick Michael in the third base coach's box. Ward takes up his station at first base. Mcguire holds against the runner as Welsh turns and lobs over to first. How quickly can you make up ground? Well, we're talking about Milwaukee. It's a case in point. They've gained 5 games on the Tigers in the last 12 days. Now the pitch is Skinner turns to bunt, drops it out in front of the plate. Good bunt. It'll be picked up by Hasse, who throws to Hubbard, who was a little late getting over to first, but managed to get there to take the throw. And moving to second base is Gary Ward.
We've seen some opportunities for Joel Skinner, not only last year, but this year, too, where he has not been able to get the bunt down when he's been called on. But that time, you couldn't have put a more perfect bunt up that first baseline. Hasse had to wait, as you said, for Hubbard to get over there. He almost threw it down the right field line.
And the other thing you like to see if you're the bunting team is just that one moment of indecision as whether the catcher's going to pick it up or the pitcher when they both converge. Now here is Santana with a runner at second, and the first pitch is high. You know, you may yell, "I've got it, I'll take it," and the catcher should probably, because he is facing more in a direction of first base to make the throw. But you get some guy who's eager coming in. He wants to make the play. And if they both pause, you got a shot. Santana hitting .245. Runner at second, 1 out. Welsh to the plate with a pitch that's high, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Ricky Henderson on deck.
Right now, Welch isn't as sharp as we've seen him before. A lot of his pitches, especially his fastball, he's throwing high and not getting it in the strike zone.
Here's a 2-0 to Santana, and that's high again, 3-0.
It's also a type of pitcher that'll keep you honest as a hitter, because in looking at the stats, he's hit 9, and that leads the Oakland staff, and he's just wild enough that he's going to keep the right-handers honest.
Yeah, you have to like the way he pitches. Here's the delivery to Santana. That's in for a strike. Because he's right. He's not afraid to come inside, either by design or otherwise. Ward walks off second base. The 3-1 to Rafi is fouled back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Dave Henderson in center shades Santana just a bit toward right, as Santana takes a lot of balls in that direction. But if you hit one here in a gap and get one between, it's going to roll a long way the way that outfield is playing. They're shallow. The 3-2 pitch to Santana, and he slices it over first base, but it's foul and down into the Yankee bullpen area. Count remains 3-2. We're in the second inning of a vantage point here in Oakland that is probably a little bit higher than most of the spots from which we work. You get a good overview of the area here. The pitch to Santana, and it rolled up the third baseline, foul. And the one good thing about that, being up this high, is that if you get a particularly bad ball game, there's a lot of other things you can look at. And that can be important sometimes. Of course, that has never happened this year. We haven't had any like that, but there may come a day. What is this man saying? 3-2 the count. Welsh looks back at second. He sees Gary Ward is still there. Throws to Santana, who swings and pops it up wide at first, drifting off into foul territory, of which there is plenty, is Mcguire, and he makes the catch. Now Santana fouls out as Welsh comes back from a 3-0 deficit in the count to get Rafi. 2 down. We'll go to the top of the order for Ricky Henderson.
You know, if you look back, I'm sure first baseman and third baseman here in Oakland have to have a few more putouts than other first baseman and third baseman around the league with all this foul territory.
Well, as we mentioned last night, you're going to get to a lot of balls that in other parks would be well back into the seats.
One of the few ballparks you go for speed when you get those third baseman and first baseman.
Here's Henderson, and a breaking ball in for a strike.
Yeah, you always get those speedy outfielders that fill up the gaps. Here you look for those speedy guys at the corners that cover that foul territory.
Imagine a guy saying, yeah, I went deep last night. I fouled one in the seats. 0-1 the count. Ward at second. Henderson grounded to third first time up. Bob Welsh throws, and Ricky takes low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yankees will be playing the Cleveland Indians when they get back to the stadium Monday, Labor Day, and a 4:05 start. The pitch to Henderson is a little bit high. 2 balls, 1 strike. See where Julio Franco had 5 hits last night in that 13-inning ball game they had, and then scored the winning run in the 13th. Ward off second. Welsh delivers, and Henderson takes high, ball 3. And now Welsh is having a little more success when he takes something off of that pitch. When he throws he got away with one to Paldirulo, and he struck Pags out with the bases loaded with a high fastball that might not have been a strike the way Welsh is pitching today. He just threw the good hard fastball to Henderson, and that sailed on him. So it's 3 balls, 1 strike. And now Welsh and Hasse can't get together on what to throw here on 3-1, so Hasse goes to the mound.
Sometimes you get yourself in a predicament where you have to think about maybe being better off going after another hitter from the beginning, going after the next batter. And with first base open and the count 3-1, you don't want to just lay one into Ricky Henderson. Well, maybe that's what Hasse went out to talk to Welch about, see if he'd rather go after Willie Randolph with a fresh start.
3 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs, second inning, 0-0. Ward at second base, standing there with his hands on his hips, waiting for Welsh. Now Wardo takes his lead, crouches, moves off second. The pitch to Henderson is fouled back and out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the return throw from the umpire, I think, took Welsh by surprise. It didn't quite nail him the way Tommy John got hit in the head in Minnesota that night. But I don't think he was expecting that.
Welch has that hat pulled down so far, he might not have seen it.
That's right. He could be out there in a thunderstorm and never know it was raining. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Henderson is popped in the air center field. Drifting back a couple of steps, Dave Henderson makes the catch, side retired. Yankees in the second. No runs or hits. They leave a runner, and after an inning and a half, Yankees nothing, Athletics nothing. We go to the bottom of the second inning. We're at the Coliseum in Oakland, where, along with air horns and other extraneous sounds, Carney Lansford steps in to lead it off, facing Ron Guidry. Veteran left-hander throws, and an off-speed pitch is in for a strike. Well, Guidry starts off the inning with a pitch that, had it been thrown later in the inning, would have been described as a change of pace. Now the 0-1 delivery, and that's in the dirt, scooped by Skinner. 1-1 the count to Lansford, hitting .293. Or is that an 8? Well, let's figure it out. .293. Guidry comes back with a curve that bounces at the feet of Lansford and goes on back toward the screen. 2-1 the count. Carney Lansford's one of those versatile guys in terms of where you can put him in the batting order. Early in the year, he batted leadoff. Today he's batting cleanup, although he's leading off this inning. Swings, rolls it to third. Paldirulo with a pickup and throw, and Lansford's retired.
Well, one of the reasons that Lansford has moved into the cleanup spot, at least for today, is that Yankee pitching has really stymied Mark Mcguire. So Tony La Russa moved him down in the order a little bit and then got Lansford hitting fourth.
So with one down, here is Don Baylor. Baylor, the designated hitter. Yankees shift, swinging around to the left, and the pitch is high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Mattingly is playing about maybe 40 feet off the bag at first base towards second. Randolph now moves to the left side of second base. Guidry throws, and a slow curve is high for a ball. The Oakland was 7 games into this homestand when Baylor made his first appearance in last night's game. Now the pitch, and it's popped up into short right field. Winfield's got a long run, but Dave is there and makes the catch. With Willie Randolph swung around to the left side of second base, Winfield had to cover a little more ground perhaps than he might ordinarily if Randolph is playing at normal second base, although the man coming in on the ball, the rule of thumb is, has the easier catch, but Randolph would have been closer to being in the vicinity than he was. 2 away, and here is Mark Mcguire. And Guidry throws, and a curve hit high and deep to left field. Henderson at the warning track, looking up, shading his eyes, snatches it out of the sky, and the side is retired. So Mcguire's fly to left falls in the glove of Ricky Henderson. 3 up, 3 down, and after 2 in Oakland. Yankees nothing, Athletics nothing.
One winner per household must be 18 or older to enter. Dave Dawson.
Dave, I have to remind you, Fairness is your middle name.
Only when I want it to be, I have to remind mornings you. On WABC.
Yankees come to bat in the top half of the third inning. 0-0 ball game, and Willie Randolph will lead it off. Wilkinson Sword Profile Blades and Wilkinson Sword System 2 blades fit just about any razor you can name. Wilkinson Sword, the name of the world's finest blades. Randolph batting for the second time, stroked a single to right field his first time up. Bob Wells winds and throws, and Willie takes a strike. Randolph hitting .248. Wells comes back to the plate, and Randolph takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. For so long, Willie's average languished under the 200 mark, but once he got rolling, it climbed in a hurry. Now the pitch to Randolph is inside. 2-1. Don Mattingly on deck as Bob Wells throws. The 2-1 pitch is chopped to short. Hustle but throw from first base just gets Randolph for the out. The shortstop, Weiss, had to wait for that ball. It was a high bouncing ball, and he couldn't charge it, or he didn't. He had to wait for it to come down and then make his throw, and got Randolph by a step.
The thing that you don't like to see, and we mentioned it in the first inning with a guy like Welch, who has not been on his game, but the Yankees have let him off the hook.
Fastball to Mattingly is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Mattingly was out, Mcguire to Welch covering first time up. Well, the Yankees have stranded 4 through the first 2 innings. Welch throws 1-0, and Mattingly drives one high and deep to right field. Way back, Canseco just turns and admires it as it settles in the right field bleachers. A home run for Don Mattingly, and the New York Yankees take a 1-0 lead. Mattingly really turned on that 1-0 pitch from Bob Welsh as Don hits his 14th home run of the season, 1-0 New York.
Welsh tried to pull the string on Mattingly, too. It was an off-speed pitch, and he didn't fool him at all. Donnie waited for it and hit it hard, about halfway into the seats, right center field.
Now here's Dave Winfield. Winfield batting for the second time, walked his first time up. Bob Welsh throws, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. Yankees took a 1-0 lead in the third inning last night. They take a 1-0 lead in the third inning here this afternoon. Hubbard playing directly behind second base on the Winfield shift. Welsh to the plate, and Winfield pops it up. Wide of first, Hasse comes over toward the seats, and by golly, this one's going to make the seats. Boy, Winfield got all of that. Although I'll say this much for Winnie, he was smart enough to foul it to the shortest part of foul territory here at the Coliseum, right where the curve comes in. The dugout roof is curved, and the point at which it is closest to home plate is where that ball went into the seats.
Hey, he hasn't been in this league all these years for nothing.
No, for a couple million a year, or close to it, I guess. Now the 0-2 pitch, and this one is fouled straight back. 1-0 Yankees. Were in the third inning. Phillips plays a deep left field as Welsh started to bring his hands up and then broke off his windup as Winfield steps out. Jack Clark on deck. Now Welsh with a look into Hasse. Right-hander winds. The 0-2 to Winfield is lined to Weiss, the shortstop, who leaps and makes the catch. Paul Weiss went up as high as he could. He came down with the ball, fell right over, but held on to it for the out. 2 away.
Yeah, that gives you the idea of how high he went up for that, because when he did come down, he couldn't keep the balance. That's as high as Walt Weiss can leap right there to make that catch.
Now here's Jack Clark, and the first pitch from Welsh is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Clark walked his first time up. 2 out here in the third inning. Welsh throws, and Clark takes. That's in for a strike. 1-1 the count. With no one on base, Wells works quickly, and Clark pops it up in the short left field. Down with the glasses is Phillips. He's shading his eyes. He can't see it. The ball drops. Clark goes into second base. Tony Phillips just flat out lost it. He ultimately got the glasses down, perhaps a little late. But even with the glasses down, he had absolutely no idea. You could see, as Ricky Henderson earlier had some trouble, when you put the bare hand up to shade your eyes, you're in trouble. If the glove hand, that's the normal way.
Yeah, you could tell that was coming on a fly ball to the left with the way Ricky caught the ball Mcguire hit that ended the second inning. And you see the reflection on the glasses, too. That's another indication. You see that, you see the hand go up, and Phillips was in trouble.
Now here's Pagliarulo, and the first pitch is outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, I said earlier I didn't think the sun would be that much of a problem, and I was right in one regard. It has been no problem for us. Clark off second. The pitch to Pags is fouled back. The sun was a problem for us when we walked in here because it was shining directly in this booth, and I thought it was going to melt the table down. But it has gone past our booth, but obviously not beyond the range of the fielders. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at second, and the pitch to Pagliarulo is high. A fastball. 2-1. Pags, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Welsh has walked 3 and struck out 1. Now the pitch to Pagliarulo, and that's high again. 3-1. Yankees leading 1-0 on Don Mattingly's home run into the right field bleachers. But they have threatened in the first when they loaded the bases, could not score. And then a walk and a sacrifice in the second. The pitch to Paldirulo is high, ball 4.
That time it wasn't wildness. It was just the fact that Welch, with first base open, would rather pitch to Gary Ward. Gary playing today because Claudell's still out of the lineup with that strained Achilles tendon, and Claudell told me he probably will miss this series in Oakland, hopefully be back sometime next week.
Boy, you really have to want to face a right-handed batter badly after Welch had Paldirulo, I thought, really baffled and looking bad his first time up and striking him out.
Tell you another thing with Gary Ward in there today, that it says for the Yankee lineup that Lou Piniella wanted to keep that defense out there. We could have possibly seen Ken Phelps as the DH and maybe Jack Clark in the outfield, but you look at the way left field is today with the sunshine, it's a lot more comfortable feeling with Ricky there and Gary Ward in center field.
Well, and Jack would, I'm sure, second that.
Yes, he would.
Center fielder Gary Ward.
Gary Ward walked his first time up. Welch has now walked 4. Clark at second. Paldirulo at first, and the pitch to Ward is fouled back. No balls, 1 strike. We're in the top half of the 3rd inning. Yankees leading 1-0, looking for more. Welch comes set. Right-hander throws, and Ward takes high and tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. .330 down the lines in this ballpark. .375 to the deep power alleys. .400 to straightaway center field. Clark, who hit one over there last night, is the runner at second base right now. Hit a ball that actually had glanced off the top of the center field fence and just kept right on going. Well, the Yankees have hit a couple of home runs in this series, and that's a welcome sign. Now look back at second base. Runners lead at first and second, and Welch backs off the rubber again. When you think back to last weekend when the Yankees were in Anaheim going through a stretch of 26 consecutive scoreless innings at the hands of the California Angels. Now the pitch to Gary Ward, and it's hit to shortstop. Weiss to his right, picks it up, throws to Hubbard. They get the force on Paldirulo, and the side is retired. 6-4 on the play at second for the Yankees in the 3rd. A run on Mattingly's homer. There were 2 hits. The Yankees leave 2, and they've now stranded 6 through the first 3 innings. After 2.5, Yankees 1, Oakland 0.
At Getty.
So we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The first pitch to Glenn Hubbard is taken for a strike. Hubbard leading it off for the Oakland Athletics. Yankees 1, Oakland 0. Ron Guidry into the windup. Here's the pitch to Hubbard, and a curve swung on and missed. Good off-speed pitch by Guidry, had Hubbard well out in front of it. 0-2 the count. On the members-only scoreboard today, Toronto has defeated Texas 7-4. So you're going to start to get some names with which you're not familiar. I say you. Names I'm not familiar with. I don't blame it on you. Tell you about that in a moment. The 0-2 pitch to Hubbard is high and away. Tony Castillo was the winner for Toronto today. Jeff Russell the loss. Fred McGriff another home run. It's his 32nd of the season. Now the 1-2 pitch to Hubbard, swing and a miss, struck him out. So Guidry records his 2nd strikeout, 1 away, and that'll bring up Ron Hassey. Look at McGriff with that home run. He's just 2 behind Jose Canseco. Canseco with 34. McGriff now with 32. White Sox and Indians rained out today. They will play 2 tomorrow. Going to the bottom of the 7th in Minnesota. Kansas City 6, Minnesota 2. The rest of the American League action under the lights. Here's the pitch to Hassey, and he takes it low. 1 ball, no strikes. National League, Dodgers and the Mets. We'll get to that in a moment. Guidry delivers, and that's down the middle for a strike. 1-1. Mets leading the Dodgers 2-1 going to the top of the ninth in New York. Cincinnati 3, Chicago 2 after 5, and that L.A. New York game, Tudor against Gooden. Guidry comes back, 1-1 to Hasse. Curveball bounced deep back of first, fielded by Mattingly, throws to Guidry covering the bag for the out, and there are 2 away. Let's pause for station identification on the New York Yankees radio network.
New York Yankee baseball on Talk Radio 77 WABC, New York's Yankee station.
With 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, that'll bring up Walt Weiss. Reds and Cubs 3-2 Cincinnati after 5. Meanwhile, the rest of the National League, San Diego at Philadelphia, San Francisco, Montreal, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, St. Louis, Houston will play tonight. Weiss. First base stance. Weiss is around first on his way to second as Mattingly runs the ball down. And Weiss stops at second base. It'll be a hit and an error. The first Oakland hit. Ball was hit deep in the hole at shortstop. Pagliarulo dived for it. He couldn't come up with it. Santana managed to backhand the ball but was on his heels as he threw. And when the ball left his hand, it wasn't a question of whether he could get the runner. The question was, how many rows deep was that baby going to go?
That's the type of ball that on AstroTurf, Santana will try to skip it off. We saw him try to do that here last night. Skip one off the grass, but he didn't get a good hop. He tried to go all the way on that one and threw it well over Mattingly's head.
Now here's Tony Phillips, and breaking ball is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, the first hit off Ron Guidry is an infield hit, but combined with the bad throw by Santana, it puts the tying run at second with 2 down. Phillips fouled out to Mattingly his first time up. Now time is called as Phillips steps out.
It's funny to watch that throw, too. As soon as Santana uncorked the throw, Mattingly turned around and started running.
Yeah.
Wasn't like he was going to wait for it.
He got a decent jump on that throw. Now the pitch, and Phillips takes that's in for a strike. But at least we didn't have the sight of Rafi chasing down his own throw as we did in Anaheim the other day when he flipped one to second that went over Randolph's head, and Santana just kept going right after it. Ran it down, picked it up, and threw it again past Randolph the other way. Pitch to Phillips, misses inside. Be interesting to see what happens here with Guidry in this at-bat with Phillips, because he's been getting that inside pitch on previous batters. He's been coming inside to right-hand hitters and getting strikes with it. Now he falls behind 2-1, and he throws, and Phillips fouls this one right side, and that'll be out of play. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees leading 1-0 on Mattingly's 14th home run of the season. Phillips chokes up on end of the bat about an inch. Guidry looks at Weiss at second base. And the 2-2 pitch is popped in the air in a short right field. Randolph goes out. Winfield comes on. They collide, tumble over. Randolph has the ball.
And they're okay.
They tripped on each other's feet, but Randolph had the ball. Fortunately, a split second before contact was made, and he held on to it. Side, retired. No runs, a hit, an error, a runner left. After 3 in Oakland, Yankees 1, Athletics 0. A reminder for members only and the League of Women Voters. We go to the 4th inning, 1-0 Yankees. Here's Tommy Hutt.
All right, Hank, thanks. And hi, everybody. How you doing this afternoon? Joel Skinner will step in. Skinner dropped down a nice sacrifice bunt in the 2nd inning. First pitch by Bob Welch, a curveball for a strike, 0-1. Skinner moved Gary Ward to second base with 1 away, but then Santana popped up and Ricky Henderson flied to center field. The right-hander kicks and fires. Joel Skinner takes strike 2. So Bob Welch has thrown a curveball, then came back with a fastball to Skinner, and he's ahead 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball stays outside. 1-2 now to Skinner. Joel had a good Saturday ball game in Anaheim. 3 for 4 last Saturday against California. Bob Welch leans in, now rocks it back. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. A fastball's foul back. Count stays 1-2. Bob Welch making his 31st start of the year. He's already gone over that 200 inning mark. Delivers to Skinner and misses inside. 2-2. Oakland Athletics have an outside chance, and it really is an outside chance to have 3 20-game winners. Skinner with a line shot to right field, a base hit on a hanging breaking ball by Bob Welch. Well, Welch will talk to himself after that pitch. He had gotten ahead, then the count was even 2-2. He flipped the hanging breaking ball up there. Joel Skinner lined it between first and second base. So leadoff single. And the batter will be Rafael Santana. Yeah, Bob Welch has 15 wins. He's 15-7. Dave Stewart, who the Yankees will see tomorrow, is 16-11. And Storm Davis, who has really been a surprise, his record 14-4. Welch with a toss over to first. Santana up there. Pretty good punter. Lansford plays in at third. Santana squares, drops down a bunt up the first baseline under the legs of Welch, and as he limps away, Mcguire makes the play. So the sacrifice goes 3-4, but Bob Welch, as he skipped over that ball, and the reason he did so, I think he was called off by Mcguire because Welch was right there. I expected him to lean over and make that play, but as he kind of tippy-toed over that baseball, he came down and appeared to be limping a little bit. Now, Barry Weinberg, the Oakland trainer, is out there. Tony La Russa will come out. As moving to second base, Joel Skinner goes to second on that sacrifice. So the Yankees here this afternoon have completed a couple of nice sacrifice bunts.
Well, you wonder how you can hurt that ankle, if indeed that's what it was, on the infield grass, which is thick and cushiony, unless he twisted it.
I think it was just the way he leaped over the ball. Anyway, I was talking about these pitchers, and you look back, the last time the A's had multiple 20-game winners, not hard to figure, 1973. Catfish Hunter was 21-5. Holtzman 21-13. Vida Blue was 20-9. I'll give you one to jog your memory. When was the last time the Yankees had more than one 20-game winner on their staff?
Let's say 1978.
Very good. Ron Guidry
and Ed Figueroa.
Ed Figueroa. Still being attended to is Bob Welch, the Oakland trainer. A couple of the umpires are out there. Now there is some action in the Oakland bullpen. Eric Plunk starts to loosen up, and it looks like Tony La Russa is going to go to the bullpen. So in what appeared to be a very simple play, Welch going over to field that sacrifice bunt, and he was there for it. He's a good fielder, but he was called off by Mcguire, and once Mcguire made the call, Welch, a little bit of a leap over the ball, and when he came down on his ankle. And I'm thinking that that's possibly what is the problem with him. But now, as Plunk has been called in, Welch wants to take some throws, which brings up a little interesting situation here. La Russa made the call. Plunk is at the mound right now, and Welch wanted to take some tosses now. He's going to walk off the field.
And he's walking just fine, isn't he?
And he is not limping. So probably for precautionary measures, La Russa making the change, but Welch not all that happy about it. So as Plunk gets all the time he wants to warm up, there's a pause in the action here from Oakland. The Yankees lead 1-0. We're in the top half of the fourth inning, one away. Joel Skinner's at second base. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to the Yankee Station.
Did you ever try to cut a piece of wire with a plier that just mashes it instead of cutting it? Well, you can get rid of that pain in the neck once and for all at these local participating Century Hardware stores. Boulevard Hardware, Fairview, New Jersey. Home Hardware, Waldwick, New Jersey. And Hopkins Hardware of Goshen, New York. You can get a wire cutter plier sharp enough to cut paper and strong enough to cut piano wire. It's called a channel lock diagonal cutter. Just one look at this fine polished steel beauty tells you here is quality. Look for the channel lock blue plastic grips and the trademark channel lock name on the side. This assures you that you are getting the very best, and you can see the entire line of channel lock pliers at Boulevard Hardware, 178 Bergen Boulevard, Fairview, New Jersey, Home Hardware, 27 Franklin Turnpike, Waldwick, New Jersey, and Hopkins Hardware, 30-34 West Main Street, Goshen, New York. Channel lock pliers, find them at your local participating Century Hardware stores. Century Hardware, where people make the difference.
We'd like to apply for Marine's Yankee MasterCard.
Fine. A few questions. Tell me...
How many scoreless innings in 58?
No. Tell me...
Who won 2 straight MVP titles?
No. Tell me...
Come on, hit us with your hardest.
Yeah.
Tell me your name.
The Yankees MasterCard from Marine Midland. A Yankees logo, a great rate, and a very easy application.
Ask us a hard one.
Okay. Who was the bat boy in 37?
You got us.
Hugh Taylor got us. That's right. You're amazing.
Marine Midland Bank. Let's work it out together.
Well, back in Oakland with the Yankees leading 1-0 as Eric Plunk has come on to replace Bob Welch. We get the answer to our question, and it was an ankle injury, but it was an Achilles injury, a slight Achilles strain on the right foot of Bob Welch, and evidently when he went up to make that leap over the ball, that's when he injured the Achilles, not when he came down and twisting an ankle, which is what we first thought.
Well, it was bizarre because, he really didn't jump that high. He simply, how high do you have to jump to get over a baseball? It's like, how many people do you need to change a light bulb? Whatever, how high do you have to jump to get over a baseball that the top of which might not be totally visible rolling in this grass?
No, I think it was just because of the last-minute reaction. All of a sudden he heard Mcguire call for it. So Eric Plunk has come on to pitch. The big right-hander has had a good season for Oakland, a 5-2 record. This is his 41st ball game. Earned run average 2.66. He struck out 62 in 61 innings of work. And Eric Plunk, as many Yankee fans will remember, one of the young pitchers involved in the Rickey Henderson deal. Rickey Henderson coming to the Yankees. Eric Plunk coming to Oakland, so he has gotten an opportunity. And he's getting some time to warm up. Wanted to continue that thought I had on those 20-game winners. You also remember, if you're a baseball fan and talking about ball clubs that had multiple 20-game winners, the Baltimore Orioles, 1971 Orioles, Dave McNally, Jim Palmer, Mike Cuellar, Pat Dobson. They had 4. Right now, Plunk is ready to work. Rickey Henderson will step in. At second base is Joel Skinner. There's one out, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
Now, another club that could lay claim to multiple 20-game winners was the Cleveland Indian Ball Club in 1954 with Bob Lemon, Early Wynn, Mike Garcia. 20-game winners.
That's becoming more of a rarity.
Yeah, and the fourth guy in that rotation, he didn't win 20 that year, but he was still a pretty good pitcher, Bob Feller.
Plunk's ready to go. Here's his first pitch to Rickey. And Rickey takes it low, ball 1. Yankees got their run on a third-inning home run by Don Mattingly, his 14th of the year. Oakland has just one hit off Ron Guidry, an infield single by Walt Weiss. Here's a set by Eric Plunk. The delivery, Henderson pops one out of play. Count evens 1 ball and 1 strike. Eric Plunk, a big guy, 6'5", 210 pounds, so he fits in very well with this Oakland ball club. Guys like Canseco, Mcguire, Don Baylor, Dave Henderson, Carney Lansford. 1-1 pitch to the plate. Ricky Henderson takes a high fastball. 2-1. Ricky 0 for 2, grounded to third and flied to center field. Ricky has had a tough go of it on this road trip. 4 hits in 35 at-bats. Here's the pitch to the plate. 2-1 slider is low and away, ball 3. 3-1. Canseco really gives Henderson that right field line. Dave Henderson straight away in center, as is the left fielder Tony Phillips. The 3-1 comes home, and it's inside, ball 4. So Ricky Henderson walks, still 1 away. Runners at first and second, and here's Willie Randolph. Yankees stranded 3 runners in the first inning, left 1 on in the second, and 2 in the third. So they've had base runners. They've had opportunities to have more runs than the 1. But they do lead 1-0. Willie Randolph has a base hit in 2 trips, singled, and then grounded to short. Here's a pitch to the co-captain. It's a called strike. 0-1. With Ricky Henderson at first and Skinner at second, Ricky will have to make sure on a base hit that Skinner's going to be waved home. 0-1 pitch. Willie Randolph takes a big curveball for strike 2 call. Because the worst thing that could happen would be Ricky to be running with his head down, all of a sudden be standing at third base and saying hello to Joel Skinner, who's also standing there. Plunk sets it up. Here comes the 0-2. Curveball in the dirt, bounces away from Ron Hasse all the way back to the screen. Skinner goes to third, Henderson to second on the wild pitch flipped up there by Eric Plunk. Well, he got ahead 0-2 to Willie Randolph, and he said to himself, I'm going to really snap off a good curveball. Well, he snapped a good one off, but it bounced in front of the plate. Hasse tried to block it, got a piece of it, and the ball kicked by him came all the way back to the screen, and there is a lot of territory behind home plate. Infield comes in, out of the stretch now, and the fastball's inside. 2-2. However, we did see a ball last night, a wild pitch, not a curveball type wild pitch, that flew by the catcher, hit the back wall, and came right directly back to home plate. 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Willie Randolph sends a shallow fly ball to right field. Hubbard, the second baseman, back. In comes Canseco. Hubbard with an over-the-shoulder grab, and he drops it. Coming in from third is Skinner. He'll score. Henderson goes to third. The Yankees pick up run number 2. It's 2-0. Little shallow pop fly into right field. I don't think Canseco had a shot. He was a long way from that ball, and Hubbard, with his back toward home, trying to make an over-the-shoulder catch, had it and then dropped it. Joel Skinner alertly came in to score. Ricky Henderson went on to third. So it'll be ruled a base hit for Willie Randolph, his second. He picks up an RBI. The Yankees pick up another run. 2-0. Runners at the corners, 1 away, and here's Don Mattingly. Plunk with the pitch. It's a little low, ball 1.
And Skinner had to be alert at third base to the possibility that that ball might not be caught. Obviously, it wasn't going to be deep enough to tag up if a catch was made.
The 1-0 pitch to Mattingly. Don swings. He sends a shallow fly to left field. Backing up is Walt Weiss, the shortstop. Weiss handles it in front of Tony Phillips, the left fielder. 2 away now here in the top half of the 4th. So a big out for Plunk, as Mattingly wanted to get one a little further in the air to at least pick up a sacrifice fly. It's a nice situation when you go up to hit and you have Ricky Henderson at third and there's nobody out or 1 out, because you know you don't have to hit it all that deep and he's going to score. But that one wasn't deep at all, fielded by the shortstop Weiss. So with 2 out, runners are still at first and third, and here's Dave Winfield. Yankees lead 2-0 here in the top half of the 4th. Dave in the game is 0 for 1. Walked and lined to short. First pitch, fastball is high, ball 1. Dave now with 92 RBIs. He's 5th in the league with that total. George Brett with 95. Kirby Puckett has 99. Canseco 101. Greenwell with 104. Eric Plunk with that fake to third and the look over the left shoulder, that play that I think one time I saw it work. The one time I saw it work, the pitcher, it was Steve Rogers. Faked, looked at first, had the guy picked off at first, and he threw it away. Here's the 1-0 to Winfield. Dave fouls it back. Count evens 1-1.
Well, you answered my question before I could even ask it, and I was about when you said one time you saw it work, and I was going to say, what Little League game was that?
Yankees 2 runs and 5 hits. Oakland no runs, 1 base hit. We're in the top half of the 4th inning on a beautiful afternoon in Oakland, California. Runners at first and third. The set by Plunk. Again, he tries that play, and once again, it doesn't work. Runners stay at first and third. Dave Winfield with 1,403 career RBIs now. Out of the stretch is the right-hander. There goes Willie Randolph on the pitch. A bluff throw to second by Hasse. Willie Randolph picks up a stolen base. Yankees now at second and third. So Hasse not taking any chances, even trying to throw to second, throw through. Because once he does that, Ricky Henderson takes off from third. So by doing that, the Yankees get another runner in scoring position. Now Eric Plunk is ready to work the 2-1 pitch to Dave Winfield. Dave hits a shot right between that vacated hole on the right side. Henderson scores. The throw by Canseco up the line. Collision at the plate, and Hasse drops the ball. Randolph scores. 2 more runs come in, and the Yankees lead 4-zip. Yeah, we talked about it last time that Dave Winfield was at bat with the shift on. A big opening on that right side. That time Winfield took advantage, hit a hard shot between Mark Mcguire and Glenn Hubbard out to Jose Canseco. Henderson scored easily. He was at third. Willie Randolph came around. The throw was a little bit up the line. Hasse caught it right as Randolph came in, and there was a good collision. Hasse couldn't hang on to the ball, and Winfield picks up 2 more RBIs. Now has 94 on the year, and the Yankees take a 4-0 lead.
Really was not a great throw by Canseco. It was well up the line, and it was high, and Hasse had to leap. He had to jump for it, and in doing so, he was vulnerable to Randolph, who crashed into him, and he was not able to hold on to it.
And on that throw, Winfield goes to second. Here's a hard shot. Good play by Weiss at short. Gets up, throws to first, and Jack Clark is out. Jack Clark hit a bullet up the middle. Walt Weiss went to his left, made a dive for it, fielded, came up, and fired. But the Yankees here in the 4th inning pick up 3 runs on 3 base hits. 1 runner's left on. After 3.5 in Oakland, Yankees 4, the Athletics nothing.
Bob Grant.
Say that once again, I'll kick your nose right down your throat.
Weekdays at 2 on WABC.
Well, you're always a winner at Subway sandwiches and salads. Go in now and enter to win a 6-foot sub for your World Series party. Now, we had a chance, Hank and I, to survey that play a little better on a replay between innings with Willie Randolph scoring. Dave Winfield picking up 2 RBIs. The Yankees lead 4-0 here in the bottom of the 4th, and with Hasse having to leap as he went up the line to make that catch on the throw by Canseco, really didn't get himself planted, and You got to give Willie Randolph credit for sizing that up and taking care of Hasse, going in with the charge. If he, maybe other circumstances, he may try to slide.
Or try to run around him. But he made contact, and when some guy hits you and you don't have your feet on the ground, that's tough.
So it'll be Dave Henderson to step in facing Ron Guidry. Oakland has one base hit, an infield single. First pitch, a slow curveball to Henderson, a right-handed batter, and it's a strike, 0-1. Henderson struck out in the first inning.
Today, 3 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs.
The line by Gator, pitch on the way is a changeup, and it's outside, 1-1.
3 1/3, 4 hits.
So the line on Bob Welch is complete now. 3 1/3 innings, 4 hits. Gave up 2 of the runs, walked 4, and had 1 strikeout. Back with a 1-1 pitch, Dave Henderson lofts a high fly ball left center field, not too deep. Ricky Henderson over, waves off Gary Ward, and Ricky makes the catch. 1 away. With 1 out before Jose Canseco steps in, let's pause for station identification on the New York Yankees radio network.
New York Yankee baseball on Talk Radio 77 WABC, New York's Yankee station.
Tommy Hutton and Hank Greenwald here in Oakland. The Yankees have a 4-0 lead over the Athletics, trying to make it 2 straight over Oakland and 3 straight on this road trip that got off to a disastrous start. Canseco, the hitter, the first pitch is in the dirt, ball 1. Canseco popped up to first in the first inning, so the big right-hander's 0 for 1. Guidry delivers a 1-0 fastball, and inside, not by much, 2-0. I think an indication as to the way Canseco has adjusted from his rookie season. This is his 3rd year in the league. Here's a shot to left field, line drive, 1 hop off the fence, comes back over the head of Henderson. Ricky has trouble picking it up. Now throws it into Santana. Canseco has a 2-base hit. Well, the only good thought about that is that Canseco didn't get it up in the air. That's one of the hardest line drives I've ever seen hit. Short hopped the fence in left field and then skipped back over the head of Ricky Henderson. Canseco at second base with 1 away, and here's Carney Lansford.
Then Ricky slipped going after it. The ball almost looked like when it came off the wall, it did so with backspin. When it hit the grass out there, and maybe spun back away from Ricky, who overran it.
There's Carney Lansford standing in. He goes after the first pitch. It's one left center field. It's deep. Gary Ward is over. He won't get it. He cuts it off before it goes to the wall. But here comes Canseco. Canseco scores as Lansford cruises to second with a double. Back-to-back doubles. Oakland gets on the scoreboard. Yankees now lead 4-1. Well, with Gary Ward racing over into the left center field gap, he was able to reach out with the bare hand and cut that ball off. If it's not cut off, Lansford probably makes it to third with a triple. As it is, he's at second base with 1 out, and here's Don Baylor. Set by Guidry. Lansford taking off. Here's the throw by Skinner. It's not in time. Lansford steals third. Well, the throw was not in time, but I guess it was just a matter of time before Carney Lansford was going to get to third base. Lansford now with 26 stolen bases on the year. The pitch to Baylor was a strike, so the 0-1 is a curveball now. Count evens out 1 ball and 1 strike to Don Baylor. Baylor flied to right field in the second inning. Yankees lead 4-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Guidry out of the windup. Fastball hit high and hard to center, but it's playable for Gary Ward. He makes the catch, and tagging from third is Lansford. He'll score on the sacrifice fly. Oakland able to cut the Yankee lead in half. Yankees now have a 4-2 lead.
Well, the stolen base helped set up that run for Oakland. Therefore, it was a good play. If, on the other hand, Lansford was thrown out at third base, that would have taken some explaining.
Mark Mcguire stands in and takes high ball one. Wasn't a bad throw either by Skinner. Lansford just got a good jump from second.
He got a good pitch to go on.
Yeah. 1-0 pitch to Mcguire, who fouls it off. Ball trickles over into Oakland's dugout on the third base side. 1-1 the count to Mcguire. Mark Mcguire with 27 home runs, 86 RBIs. Guidry with the pitch. Mcguire takes high. 2-1.
Yankees have the bullpen going as the left-hander Hipólito Peña and the right-hander Scott Nielsen are throwing.
2-1 pitch to Mcguire. Breaking ball is low, ball 3. Mcguire, of his 27 home runs, none of those against the Yankees, and he has just 3 hits, 3 for 37. Gator back with a 3-1 delivery, and it's inside, ball 4. Mcguire with a 2-out walk. Tying run will come to the plate, and it'll be Glenn Hubbard. Yankees 4 runs and 6 hits. Oakland 2 runs and 3 base hits. Well, in contrast to the way the Yankees have pitched Mark Mcguire, they haven't been able to get Glenn Hubbard out. They did retire him in the 3rd inning. Guidry struck him out. But he's hit around 460, 470 against the Yankees this season. Lou Piniella out to the mound to talk with former teammate. And it was a brief conversation with Gator. I guess Lou was out there about 5 seconds.
Well, it didn't take him long to say, get this guy or you're out. I can't say for sure that's what Lou said, but I have had pitchers tell me over the years at various ball clubs that, so what did he say to you when you came out there? He said, get this guy or you're through.
Well, the first pitch to Glenn Hubbard is up high, a fastball, 1-0. So see those guys warming up in the bullpen?
That tells you.
Mcguire at first base with 2 out. Guidry at the belt. Pitch to Hubbard, a called strike. 1-1. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees lead 4-2. Guidry with the sign now. Sets it up. Delivers to the plate, and it's inside. 2-1. Hubbard overall with a batting average at .260. Awaits the pitch, and here it comes. Takes up high, ball 3. 3-1. So all of a sudden, after the first out was recorded, Dave Henderson hit a fly ball to the left. Back-to-back doubles by Canseco and Lansford brought home 1 run. Stolen base and a sacrifice fly brought home the other, but Ron Guidry has had trouble getting the ball in the strike zone. Not on this 3-1 pitch, though. A strike to Hubbard. It's 3-2. Glenn Hubbard, a lifetime .245 hitter. Swings at the 3-2 pitch and fouls it at the plate. Count stays 3-2. I guess Hubbard's best overall season was in '83 with the Braves. He had .263 and had 12 home runs and 70 RBIs. He has postseason experience. 1982 with the Atlanta Braves. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Hubbard hits a fly ball to left field. Ricky Henderson will be there. He makes the grab, and that'll do it for Hubbard. That also does it for the Athletics in the fourth. They pick up 2 runs, couple of base hits, 1 runner left on. We'll go to the 5th inning in Oakland. The Yankees 4, the Athletics 2. Back at the Oakland Coliseum, where the Yankees have a 4-2 lead over the Athletics. Yankees come to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. They'll be sending Mike Pagliarulo, Gary Ward, and Joel Skinner to face Eric Plunk. After 3, it was a 1-0 Yankee lead on Don Mattingly's home run, but the Yankees got 3 in the top half of the 4th. Oakland came back with 2 in the bottom half. Take a look at our members-only scoreboard as we go along. Toronto defeated Texas today, 7-4. Tony Castillo with a win over Jeff Russell. Dwayne Ward picked up his 11th save. Pete O'Brien, Steve Buechele homered for Texas. Toronto Blue Jays hit 3 home runs. First pitch to Pagliarulo's up high, ball 1. Pags is 0 for 1. Fred McGriff hit his 32nd. Rance Mullenix number 12, and Tony Fernandez his 5th. Plunk, even with no one on, works from the stretch. His next pitch to Pags is swung on and missed. 1-1. Kansas City's at Minnesota. Minnesota picked up 6 runs in the 7th. They have an 8-6 lead over KC after 8 innings of play. 1-1 pitch to Pags, and he fouls it at the plate. Counts now 1-2. Other American League games tonight. Milwaukee's at Detroit. Filer against Searcy. Boston in California. And Baltimore's in Seattle. The Orioles can't wait to get out of Seattle. They're still having that power shortage up there in the downtown area. So curveball is high to Pags. It evens the count 2-2. Yankees on getaway day Wednesday. It was about 11:15 in the morning. They had that fire downtown that knocked out 50 or so blocks in the downtown area. 2-2 pitch lifted in the air to center field. Dave Henderson went back, comes in, battles the sun, and makes a catch. 1 away.
I have a feeling the Orioles, it's a good chance that they are not staying at the same hotel where the Yankees were the other day.
And if they are, they probably wish they weren't.
Well, if they are there, now you know for sure why they're in last place.
There's Gary Ward stepping in. Wardo is 0 for 1. He looks at a fastball from Plunk, and he looks at a strike, 0-1. In the National League, the Mets a 2-1 win over the Dodgers, and the Mets continue to baffle the Los Angeles Dodgers. They've won 10 out of 11 against L.A. this year. Ward fouls the next pitch back, and it's 0-2. So the 2 National League leaders battling at Shea, but the Mets continue to have the edge. Dwight Gooden over John Tudor. Gooden now 16-6, Tudor 8-7. Randy Myers picked up his 21st save. Ward swings at an 0-2. It's a high pop fly, foul territory, first base side, but Mark Mcguire runs out of room. He gets a workout covering all that foul territory. Went over near the Yankee bullpen. Ball took 1 hop and then went into the seats. Cincinnati playing at Wrigley Field. It's a 6-4 lead for the Reds over the Cubs after 7. As Plunk goes to work, 0-2 to Gary Ward. Curveball is low, 1-2.
Reds playing without outfielder Cal Daniels, who was suspended by the ball club for throwing his bat into the dugout after he struck out in the 9th inning.
1-2 pitch. Ward battles, fouls it back. It was a good pitch by Eric Plunk. Gary Ward just got a piece of it.
The reason they suspended him is that not simply because he threw his bat, is that he threw it into his own dugout. I mean, how foolish can you be? You're going to do that. I mean, hey, pick on the other guys.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball stays inside. 2-2 to Gary Ward. Here in the top half of the 5th inning, 1 away, nobody on base. The Yankees with a 4-2 lead. All the other National League ball games tonight. San Diego's in Philadelphia. The Giants play the Expos in Montreal. Pittsburgh in Atlanta. and St. Louis in Houston. Gary Ward takes ball strike 3 on a big curveball by Eric Plunk. Gary knew it, and he just heads back to the dugout. First strikeout for Plunk since coming on. 2 away, and here's Joel Skinner. In the 4th inning, after a base hit by Joel Skinner, Rafael Santana dropped down a bunt in a sacrifice situation. Here's a swing and a miss by Skinner, 0-1. Bob Welch, the pitcher at the time, came over to field it. He was called off by Mark Mcguire. So Welch just kind of leaped, a little dance step over the baseball to allow Mcguire to field it. And when he did so, he strained an Achilles tendon in his right ankle. So he had to leave the ball game, and Plunk came in. 0-1 pitch to Joel Skinner. A curveball's inside, 1-1. Plunk then walked Ricky Henderson, gave up a bloop single, RBI single by Willie Randolph. Retired Mattingly, but then Dave Winfield picked up a single and 2 RBIs. Pitch foul back by Joel Skinner. Counts 1-2. So the Yankees lead 4-2. They're in the top half of the 5th inning. Hope you're enjoying this Labor Day weekend. Wherever you've decided to spend it. 1-2 pitch, little pop fly, right side of the infield. Glenn Hubbard, second baseman, is there on the infield dirt. He makes the catch, and the Yankees go 1-2-3 in the 5th. After 4.5 in Oakland, Yankees 4, the Athletics 2.
Mind if I say so?
Members only in the League of Women Voters ask you to remember to vote. There's no excuse not to. Here we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees have a 4-2 lead over the Athletics. Ron Hasse steps in, facing Ron Guidry. Pulls a ground ball foul up the first baseline on the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Hasse hit a ground ball to first in the 3rd inning. Don Mattingly had to move back a couple of steps, field it, and then throw over to Ron Guidry covering. It's a nice feeling, too, when you throw to a pitcher who you know is a good fielder. Hasse sends the 0-1 pitch in the air, center field, backing up Gary Ward near the track. Wardo with the catch, 1 away on that fly ball by Ron Hasse. Yeah, as a first baseman, you field ground balls, and if you know a pitcher is a little shaky in his defense, you say to yourself and you think that you have to be perfect with that throw. But if you have a guy out there like Guidry, all you have to do is get it close, and he's going to make the play. 1 out, and the batter's Walt Weiss. Weiss had an infield base hit in the 3rd inning. Got the night off last night. First pitch to the switch hitters outside, ball 1. Mike Gallego started at short for the Athletics in the ball game last night. 1-0 pitch to the plate, and it's inside. 2-0. Weiss batting average of .244. Has 3 home runs and 30 RBIs. The wind by Guidry. The 2-0 pitch. Weiss swings, chops one to third. Right there is Pags. Fields has time and throws him out at first base. 2 outs in the 5th. Coming up is Tony Phillips. Guidry thinking to himself he'd like to have another nice quick inning. He retired the Athletics 1-2-3 in the first 2 innings. Gave up that infield base hit to Weiss in the 3rd, and then got in some trouble in the 4th. That's when Oakland scored their 2 runs. First pitch to Tony Phillips is fouled straight back, and it's 0-1. Yankees 4 runs and 6 hits. Athletics 2 runs and 3 base hits. Bottom of the 5th inning. Phillips, a switch hitter, has popped up twice. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Tony Phillips takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ron Guidry, over his career, 18 career wins against the Athletics. A breaking ball to Tony Phillips is low, ball 2. 2-1. Yankee outfield bunches Phillips in the gaps, not too deep. As Guidry comes home with the next pitch, Phillips takes low. 3-1 now to Tony Phillips, who's playing left field this afternoon. He can play all over. He's played everywhere this year except pitch and catch. Gators' lifetime earned run average against Oakland also extremely well, 2.65. There's a called strike on the 3-1 pitch. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, a 4-2 Yankee lead. Back with the 3-2, Phillips takes low, ball 4. So he draws a 2-out walk, and he'll get Dave Henderson to the plate. Henderson representing the tying run. It's a second walk issued by Ron Guidry, and that also brings Lou Piniella to the mound for the second time. I'm sure between innings, Lou and Ron Guidry talked about how he feels. Gators' last outing was out of the bullpen on August 30th. That was a ball game in Seattle. And his last start, you have to go back to July 28th. Started a ball game against Milwaukee. Pitched 5 2/3 in that game. Gave up 8 hits and 3 runs to the Brewers. Dale Mahorsic warming up in the Yankee bullpen. Dave Henderson steps in. Lou Piniella has made his way back into the Yankee dugout. The set by Guidry. There's his pitch to Dave Henderson. He fools him as he swings and misses on a breaking pitch. 0-1. Dave Henderson 0 for 2, struck out and flied to left. First part of the year, the center field situation was a little unsettled for Oakland. They had Henderson playing there once in a while, Polonia, Stan Javier. As Henderson again misses a curveball, and it's 0-2. But lately, it's been all Dave Henderson. He's been the starting center fielder 45 of the last 47 ball games. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees lead. Top half of the 6th inning. Rafael Santana to get things going, facing Eric Plunk. And the first pitch to Rafi is up high, ball 1. Santana 0 for 1 in the ball game, popped up and then dropped down a sacrifice bunt. Plunk delivers. Santana fouls it back. The sacrifice bunt was actually twofold. It got the runner over to second base, Joel Skinner, but it got Bob Welch out of the ball game. Welch wasn't on his number 1 game. He was struggling with control, and he went over to field the bunt. Got out of the way, and when he did so, to let Mcguire field it, he injured an Achilles tendon. Said to not be serious, at least the reports we got. Santana waves at the next pitch and misses. Strike 2, 1-2. So you know that Tony La Russa didn't want to take any chances. When you have an 8.5 game lead, you have one of your top pitchers out there. I think Welch might have wanted to stay in.
He had that feeling when he came back to the dugout.
Curveball a little high to Rafi. Ball 2, 2-2. Eric Plunk sets it up. 2-2 pitch to Santana. Another curveball. This one's not high. Called strike 3. Good pitch by Plunk. He came back with the same pitch that he had tossed up there high. Fooled Santana. Gets the strikeout. And Ricky Henderson will bat. Let's pause for station identification on the New York Yankees radio network.
New York Yankee baseball on Talk Radio 77 WABC, New York's Yankee station.
Tommy Hutton along with Hank Greenwald here in Oakland as the Yankees have a 4-2 lead over the Athletics. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Ricky Henderson will step in. Ricky is 0 for 2. He has walked and he has scored a run. First pitch to Ricky's outside, ball 1. And the run that he scored was his 100th of the year. It ties him with Wade Boggs. Another fastball by Eric Plunk misses, ball 2. 2-0 to Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, when this inning began, there was no one throwing in the Yankee bullpen, but now, partway into this inning, Mcguire is up again, so you wonder if perhaps when questioned whether Guidry might have said he's beginning to tire.
Yeah. There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1, because Mcguire would not be throwing if he was not going to come in to start the inning. Looking back at Ricky Henderson, this is the 7th time now that he has scored over 100 runs in a season. Plunk delivers to the plate, misses inside, ball 3. 3-2. His top's 146 in 1985. So you look, and even though you see Ricky maybe hasn't gotten a lot of base hits on this trip, he manages to get a walk. Seems like every time he's on, he scores. There's a high fly ball to right field. Canseco has a lot of room, a long way to go. The ball's carrying onto the track. Canseco with the catch. Tell you what, Canseco did not think that ball would carry as far as it did. He just started to nonchalantly glide back, looking over his left shoulder, and all of a sudden he found himself on the warning track. He made the catch just before banging up against the padding in right center field. So a long fly ball out to right, 2 away, and here's Willie Randolph. Curveball to Willie's a called strike, 0-1. Co-captain, 2 for 3, couple of singles, picked up an RBI and scored a run. Eric Plunk with a curveball. This one's high, ball 1, 1-1. Willie now has 11 base hits in 24 at-bats in his 6 games since coming off the disabled list. Set by the right-hander, the 1-1 pitch drops in for a strike. It's 1-2. Willie a couple of times this year on that disabled list. One time with that quadriceps pull, and the other with the rib injury. Plunk comes home with a pitch, curveball hit to short. Off the glove and the arm of Weiss and fielded by Hubbard, but Willie Randolph is at first base. Walt Weiss came in, had to move a little bit to his left as he moved toward the center of the diamond. Got that in-between hop and the ball rolled up his arm, backed up by Glenn Hubbard. And Willie Randolph is at first base with 2 out. It is ruled a base hit for Willie Randolph. So Willie, last couple of times up, has not really gotten those clean knocks. He had that pop fly that Hubbard tried to catch over his shoulder and dropped it. And now an infield single off Walt Weiss's forearm.
You look at that ball as it was bouncing, and which Randolph could not do, but if he could, he would have said one more bounce. And it did. It got the one more, a little bit of a low bounce, and then it rolled right up Weiss's shoulder.
That brings Don Mattingly up there, and the first pitch is a strike call on the inside corner.
Especially if you're charging a ball like that. One thing you're hoping as you charge a ball is that the bounces are going to be consistent.
Yeah, when you're sitting back and you have your balance, you can react a little better to that bad hop. But when you get the momentum going, a little tougher. Fastball to Mattingly, low and inside. A snap throw by Hasse to first, but Willie makes it back. 2 away. We're in the top half of the 6th. Yankees lead 4-2. Mcguire just kind of stands on the mound in the bullpen now and stares out at the action. He is ready, and we're to assume by him throwing that we'll see him next inning. Throw over to first. Plunk almost threw that away. Fortunately, he has a 6'5" first baseman in Mark Mcguire. Counts 1-1 to Don Mattingly. Mattingly with a home run today and 3 trips. A pitch out. Willie not going. And it's 2-1. Mattingly's home run in the 3rd inning, his 14th of the year, and it gives him now 74 RBIs. Another quick toss over to first. Willie Randolph, with his 3-hit performance, 3 for 4, has a run scored, takes a nice lead at first base. Plunk comes home with a 2-1 pitch. Mattingly goes after a high fastball and fouls it back. 2-2. Yankees with 7 base hits. They got 4 off Bob Welch, 3 so far off Eric Plunk. Four to 2 is the score. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Yankees lead. Another toss over to first. Plunk has that borderline balk move to first, where you see a little breakdown in that front leg before he delivers over. There goes Willie on the pitch to Mattingly. Down he strokes it to left center, a base hit. Randolph will head to third and make it. Mattingly with a single to left. Runners at first and third, 2 away for Dave Winfield. All of a sudden, you go back to the Wednesday game in Seattle where Mattingly had 3 base hits. Don with a 2 for 4 night last night. 2 hits today, and you can really see that nice stroke. Line shots to the opposite field. If the ball's inside, he's able to turn quickly, hit the ball with authority.
Well, he probably had good batting practice that day. A comment that is rendered to you, the public, on the basis of my inside knowledge that Mr. Hutton went out and threw a little extra BP to some of the Yankees.
First pitch to Dave Winfield is inside, ball 1.
You got him back in that groove. Huh?
Every once in a while, they like to see that left-hander. Hitters always prefer to take batting practice off former hitters who throw batting practice. The former pitchers always, you know how pitchers think. They want to, maybe run the ball inside a little bit, turn it over once in a while. Next pitch to Dave Winfield. Big curveball and a good pitch. Strike 1. 1-1 to Dave. Dave had a base hit and 2 RBIs in the 4th inning. It was off Plunk. It was with the shift on and that big hole open on the right side. With Mattingly at first base, Hubbard not quite so far toward the middle right now. Hubbard, the second baseman. Willie Randolph comes down the line from third. Next pitch is foul back, and it's 1-2. Winfield now with 94 RBIs. Batting average at .332. Yankees 4-2 have the lead here in the top of the 6th inning, trying to add on as they have runners at first and third and 2 away. The set by Eric Plunk. Here's his pitch to Dave Winfield. Curveball inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And all of a sudden there's action in the Oakland bullpen. Looks like veteran left-hander Rick Honeycutt starting to loosen for Oakland, which brings to mind a thought: how can Tony La Russa get all over Tommy John when he has Honeycutt on his staff? Here's a 2-2 pitch. Winfield goes after a hanging curveball and chops it foul. Now it stays 2-2.
Yeah, Tommy John has only been suspected of doing things to the baseball. Honeycutt has been caught.
Yeah, he's been caught. Do you have a file? Sandpaper, a nail, a little tack he had with him.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Tack.
All right, Plunk's ready to go. 2-2 pitch. Winfield swings. Hard ground ball to second. Fielded on one knee by Hubbard. He gets up and throws to first. So Winfield again goes to the right side of the infield. Hit it hard, but Hubbard was right there for it. The Yankees in the 6th inning, no runs, a couple of base hits. They leave 2. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. The Yankees 4, Oakland 2.
Everybody likes a winner, and that's for Art Rust Jr.
He's the best between those white lines, my friend.
Talking sports, weeknights after the game on WABC.
Well, here in the bottom of the 6th inning, making his Yankee debut, right-hander Dale Mahorsic will come on. He'll be working to, well, all he has to work to is Canseco, Lansford, Baylor, and Mcguire coming up. First 4 hitters. So the line on Ron Guidry, 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. Gator struck out 3 and walked 2. And he leaves with a 4-2 lead. Mahorsic, right-hander who, he really, a lot of times guys have nicknames that don't really go along with their looks or their personality. Some do, but Mahorsic, who they call the Horse, that's exactly what he is, a big guy who likes to hit the ball anytime, and he'll come into a game. He kicks and throws, and Canseco backs away from a breaking pitch that goes in for a strike, 0-1. Canseco 1 for 2, popped up and doubled in the 4th inning. Mahorsic works home. Canseco takes outside, 1-1. Mahorsic works out of the stretch, 1-1 pitch, chopper up the third baseline, a foul ball, 1-2. With Texas, Mahorsic appeared in 43 ball games, had a 2-6 record, had 5 saves in 52 innings. Yankees lead 4-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Canseco goes after the next pitch, pops it up, foul territory, first base slide. Again, Mattingly goes over, almost in that same territory, right in that little cubby hole where he tried to make a sliding catch a couple of innings ago. This time it goes into the seats, and it's 1-2.
Well, Lou Piniella certainly had to be pleased with the effort of Ron Guidry here this afternoon in the 5 innings he worked, giving up just the 3 hits and 2 runs. And it was an encouraging outing.
The 1-2 to Canseco goes over his head as Canseco finds a seat in the batter's box. For some reason, the fans here in Oakland not all pleased with that pitch by Mahorsic to a crowd favorite here, Jose Canseco.
Canseco didn't exactly hit the ground. He had time to sit down. It looked like that.
Looked like a breaking pitch.
Yeah.
Here's a 2-2. Fouled off again by Canseco. Just talking about Canseco's ability this year with his 34 home runs. He's hit 13 with 2 strikes. So that kind of tells you how he's progressed. Instead of being just a free swinger up there, he a little more control. He's a free swinger on this pitch, though, and misses it. Strike 3. Good pitch by Mahorsic. Got him to go after a breaking ball that was outside. So the Horse comes on, strikes out Canseco, 1 away, and here's Carney Lansford. Lansford in the ball game, 1 for 2. He had a double that drove home Canseco in the 4th inning. First pitch to Lansford, a called strike, 0-1. Carney Lansford hitting .294. But it's been a strange season for the right-hander. Fouls the next pitch off, and it's 0-2. Go back to June 6th. Lansford was hitting .402. Got off to an incredible start. But since June 6th, he's hit below 200.
You realize the last man ever to hit 400 just celebrated his 70th birthday.
Lansford pops one in the air on an 0-2 pitch. Again, Mattingly racing over. Foul territory. Does he have room? No, again, he doesn't slide, but he bangs up against that fence just beyond the tarp that's rolled up between the Yankee dugout and the Yankee bullpen. I think Mattingly's got enough sprints in today. Oh, that Ted Williams.
Ted Williams, that's right. The Kid. That's what he was known as in his playing days, so the Kid is now 70.
0-2 pitch in the dirt, scooped by Joel Skinner. The count's 1-2. Here we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees 4, Oakland 2. Oakland with 3 base hits. Single by Walt Weiss in the 3rd, and then those back-to-back doubles by Canseco and Lansford in the 4th. There's a ball that's low to Carney. 2-2. 1 out, nobody on. Mcguire kicks and fires. 2-2 pitch up high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 3-2 pitch inside, backs Lansford away. He goes to first with the walk, and the batter will be Don Baylor. With a right-hander on the mound, Tony La Russa does have other possibilities. Baylor's going to stand in and hit, though, right here. Dave Parker available. Left-hander Luis Polonia down in that runway back of home, swinging a bat. Lansford drew a throw from Mcguire. Now takes his lead, and the right-hander works to the plate. Baylor swings and misses. Strike 1. Baylor hit a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning and flied to right in the 2nd, so he's 0 for 1. Set by Mcguire. Now another turn and a throw to first. At the belt, here comes the 0-1 to Don Baylor, and it's inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield deep and around to pull for Baylor. Baylor on the year, 6 home runs, has 27 RBIs. Mcguire really trying to keep Lansford close at first. Lansford, after he doubled in the 4th, stole 3rd. Baylor goes after a fastball that was inside, ate him up, and he fouled it off, and he also broke his bat. That's 1-2. Baylor, most hitters after they break a bat, they'll walk over to the bat rack, pick up a new one, or maybe they'll walk over and the bat boy will come out with 3 or 4 bats and they'll choose which one. Baylor just turned, flipped his bat to the dugout. Bat boy raced out with a new one and handed it to him. Mcguire ready to go. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. He got him with a curveball. Good pitch by Mcguire. Fooled Don Baylor. 2nd out here in the 6th. Couple of strikeouts for Mcguire, and here's Mark Mcguire.
And a couple of instances where both Canseco and Baylor really swung at the motion of Mcguire. He gives you that side-arming delivery, and to a right-handed batter, that can be very difficult.
So with 2 away, Lansford still at first base. Yankees have a 4-2 lead. Mark Mcguire with 27 home runs stands in. Mcguire delivers Mcguire a swing and a miss, strike 1. And that time, not only the herky-jerky type motion, but Mcguire dropped down a little bit on that fastball. Mcguire 0 for 1 with a walk. Mcguire's pitch, a called strike, and it's 0-2. Mcguire has had interesting season, day and night this year, as he takes inside, 1-2. He's hit over 300 in the daytime and barely over 200 at night. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Mcguire pops this one out of play. Count will stay 1-2. Oh, Wilkinson Sword profile blades and Wilkinson Sword System 2 blades. They fit just about any razor you can name. Wilkinson Sword, the name on the world's finest blades. Mcguire really has an assortment of pitches and deliveries. Here's his 1-2 to Mcguire. He swings and pops it up. First base side, Don Mattingly shading his eyes with his hand, now reaching behind him as he drifted backward. and made the catch in fair territory. That's all from Mcguire. The Athletics are going to the 6th. No runs, no base hits, 1 runner left on. We'll go to the 7th. The Yankees 4, Oakland 2.
The world of car repairs can...
Well, through 6 innings here in Oakland, the Yankees have a 4-2 lead over the Athletics. The Yankees have 8 base hits, Oakland with 3 hits. And we go to the 7th, and it's number 1, it's time for Hank Greenwald again, but number 2, it's time for a Daily News hometown home run inning.
Well, I'm glad you have the things in their proper perspective. And it's time for me to tell you that today's contestants are Remo Amoroso of Staten Island and Gloria Steele of Levittown, Pennsylvania. The Yankees hit a home run, they'll each receive $1,000. If the Yankees hit a grand slam, they'll each receive $10,000. And if no homers are hit, we're all going to sit here and cry. But Remo and Gloria will still receive a pair of tickets to an upcoming Yankees game. Here's Jack Clark, and the pitch from Eric Plunk is taken low, a breaking ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Clark, the designated hitter this afternoon, has walked in a pop fly double that was lost in the sun by Tony Phillips, and Jack was thrown out by Walt Weiss. Now the pitch, and Clark lifts one high in the air, right field, headed toward the line. Canseco comes over, looking up, shading his eyes, makes the catch. Well, Clark pops it up to short right, 1 down here in the 7th inning. And that'll bring to the plate Mike Pagliarulo. Banks has struck out, walked, and flied to center field. 4 runs, 8 hits, an error for the Yankees. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors for the Oakland Athletics. Ron Guidry started, went the first 5, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. Now Plunk kicks and delivers, and Pagliarulo lifts one in the air, left center field. To his right is Henderson, but he'll give it up to Phillips instead, and Phillips makes the catch. Henderson got the break on the ball. He got a pretty good jump. The ball was hit more directly to Phillips. So Phillips, who hardly had to move, was the guy who made the catch, and they're 2 away. That'll bring up Gary Ward. Ward has walked, struck out, and forced a runner. Plunk throws, and the pitch is taken for a strike. Plunk was touched for a couple of runs in the 4th inning in relief of Welch. Since then, he's settled down and pitched well, and he throws, and Ward drives it to third. Picked up by Lansford with plenty of time. He throws Ward out, and the Yankees go quickly in the 7th. After 6.5, Yankees 4, Oakland 2.
Oakland Ford of Danbury, Connecticut.
Luis Polonia will pinch hit for Glenn Hubbard to lead it off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Yankees 4, Athletics 2. Polonia steps in to face Yankee reliever Dale Mahorsic, who throws, and the first pitch is low for a ball. Well, there were no home runs in today's Daily News hometown home run inning, but Remo Amoroso of Staten Island and Gloria Steele of Levittown will receive tickets to an upcoming Yankees game, compliments of the Daily News. Mahorsic throws and misses, ball 2, 2-0 the count. Polonia waits. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike, 2-1. Polonia's hit .286 this season. Pagliarulo up on the edge of the grass at third as the pitch is hit in the air to right field. Winfield backs up. The glasses are flipped down, and Dave makes the catch. So Polonia flies to right to open the bottom of the 7th inning, 1 away. That'll bring up Ron Hasse as we pause for station identification on the New York Yankees radio network.
New York Yankee baseball on Talk Radio 77 WABC, New York's Yankee station.
Hank Greenwald with Tommy Hutton. Hope you're enjoying the ball game today. Yankees 4, Athletics 2. Hasse 0 for 2, and the pitch is lifted in the air, foul down the left field line. No balls, 1 strike. The members-only scoreboard today: Toronto has defeated Texas 7-4. White Sox and Cleveland rained out to play a doubleheader tomorrow. Minnesota beat Kansas City 8-6. Pitch to Hasse is tapped foul behind the plate. 0-2 the count. Milwaukee, Toronto, Boston, California, Baltimore, Seattle, all later starts. National League Finals, Mets 2, Dodgers 1. Reds over the Cubs 6-4. While San Diego, Philly, San Francisco, Montreal, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, St. Louis, Houston will get underway later. Here in Oakland, Yankees 4, Athletics 2, 7th inning. 1 out, and the pitch to Hasse is lifted in the air down the left field line, drifting off and into the seats. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes. Hasse hitting .248. Mcguire throws, and the pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. Chased what looked like a fork ball. 3rd strikeout for Mcguire in an inning and 2/3. That'll bring up Walt Weiss, the shortstop. Talk about outstanding relief jobs. How about the job that San Diego's Mark Davis has done? Recorded 4 more shutout innings last night against the Phillies. There's a string of 29 consecutive scoreless innings in relief this year, which is a San Diego club record. First pitch to Walt Weiss is taken for a strike. Weiss has singled and grounded to 3rd. Now time is called while plate umpire Jim Joyce wants to redefine the back line of the batter's box, as the Yankees must have felt Weiss had his back foot beyond the line. Mcguire throws, and the pitch is swung out and missed.
Yeah, Weiss was redefining it himself, making it a little deeper.
0-2 the count. And the pitch from Mcguire to Weiss skips in the dirt and goes behind Joel Skinner. Tommy, before Mcguire started to pitch last inning, when he came in to start the 6th inning, he had been at the mound, I believe, and had warmed up, and then Joel Skinner decided he wanted another mitt. Pitch is inside, and there was nothing wrong. I don't believe anything was broken with his mitt, but would you use a different mitt to catch Mcguire than you would for Guidry? Or
not necessarily so. It wouldn't surprises me. Maybe he had something wrong with his mitt.
Well, maybe he did.
Sometimes you can look down and you can play or catch an inning or 2 and not know that you have a string loose or about to snap, and maybe Skinner noticed that and wanted to get a new one.
Now the pitch, and Weiss lifts it in the air, left field, headed toward the line. Henderson comes over in foul territory. Can he get it? No. He cannot. The ball was beyond his reach. I could not tell from here whether it reached the seats in foul territory. No, it didn't. It just almost hit the wall, and so did Henderson. But it was simply a ball that Rickey could not catch. The count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and it's strike 3 called on the outside corner, and Mcguire records his 4th strikeout. 3 up, 3 down after 7 in Oakland. Yankees 4, Athletics 2.
They shouted from the mountaintop, they shouted UABC.
Changes for the Oakland Athletics as we go to the top half of the 8th inning. Luis Polonia will stay in the game, take over in left field. Tony Phillips, who had been in left field, now moves to second base. So Polonia playing left, Phillips at second. Yankees in the 8th will send up Joel Skinner to lead it off. Paid attendance today, 43,074, watching the Yankees and the Oakland Athletics on this very pleasant Saturday afternoon. As Skinner stands in, Eric Klunk's first pitch of the inning, and Skinner fouls it back.
Once again, it is a sellout, the 9th regular season sellout this year. 10th if you include the Babe Ruth game with San Francisco.
0-1 the count. And the pitch, and Skinner swings and misses, strike 2. Skinner is 1 for 2. He singled in the 4th innings, had a sacrifice bunt, and popped to second base. 0-2 the count. Eric Plunk delivers, and Skinner started his swing, and no, says the first base umpire, Ted Hendry. Does anybody ever really write all that stuff down? That guy just made a speech on that intercom. Cannot believe all that. Now the 1-2 pitch, and that's high for a ball. Yeah, I'm interested in today's attendance, but do I need to know every single... I think he must have named every person who's been here this year at the Coliseum. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And the pitch to Skinner is chopped foul at the plate.
And we do know there have been over 1,800,000 too. So it took him quite a while.
Everything, mother's maiden name. Yankees leading 4-2. We're in the 8th inning. The pitch to Skinner, curveball, and it dipped low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's one of those games, it's just sort of, you feel like the calm before the storm here in terms of the way this game has gone. Skinner swings and misses strike 3. Skinner had completed his swing. The ball wasn't halfway to the plate yet. I'll give you an idea of how much of an off-speed pitch that one was. 3rd strikeout recorded by Plunk. That'll bring up Rafael Santana. And anytime you're in a ball game and you're playing Oakland and you look up there and they have just 2 runs on 3 hits, you sort of feel like you're sitting on a barrel of dynamite. Pitch to Santana is in for a strike. Well, this club has been shut out a few times.
Yeah, the other thing you think about, too, though, is hey, maybe this club's starting in a little bit of a spin in the other direction. Nice to catch him during that spell.
Pitch to Santana is high and tight. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Ricky Henderson on deck. 1 out, 8th inning. Plunk comes set. Right-hander delivers, and a curve is low.
Yeah, they've been shut out 9 times. Yankees have been shut out 3 times this year.
Doesn't matter how you lose. It's just surprising that this club would be shut out that many times. Now the 2-1 pitch, and Santana pops it in the air wide at first. Mcguire drifts off into foul territory, makes the catch. So they're 2 away. And we'll go to the top of the order for Ricky Henderson. Members Only believes you're never too young to learn about fashion. Starting with Members Only sportswear and outerwear in boys sizes 4 through 20. And this year, Members Only in the League of Women Voters reminds you there's no excuse not to vote. Well, Tommy, maybe you're never too young to learn about fashion, but in my case, you might be too old. Ricky Henderson, 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Facing the right-hander, Eric Plunk, who kicks and throws, and Henderson takes a fastball high. Top half of the 8th inning. Yankees 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. Oakland 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Now the pitch, and Henderson swings and pops it up. The day of the pop-up is at hand. Tony Phillips to the outfield grass and makes the catch. And the Yankees are down in order for the 2nd inning in a row. After 7.5 at the Coliseum in Oakland, the score, the Yankees 4 and Oakland 2.
Okay, you go to the store, you buy something you need, you bring it home, and the very next day you're shopping somewhere else, and what do you see? The exact same item you bought yesterday.
But let it regular. Getty goes the extra mile. And that's nothing to sneeze at. We're going to have a pinch hitter for Tony Phillips. Stan Javier comes into the ball game to bat, facing Mcguire, who throws, and the first pitch is taken low. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch to Javier, who turns the bunt and takes it high, 2-0. Javier, switch hitter, batting .273. So Mcguire falls behind 2 balls, no strikes to the leadoff hitter in the 8th inning. Here's a 2-0 pitch, outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Ron Guidry went the first 5 innings. Mcguire came on in the 6th. There is no one throwing in either bullpen. The 2-1 delivery, and Javier fouls it off to the left side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I guess they have something like our daily news hometown home run inning here, but they have it for people in the stadium. Here's the pitch, and it's hit through the hole between short and third in the left field, a base hit. Javier opens the 8th inning with a single to left. Well, whoever the contestant was in the stadium didn't win the $1,000 or whatever, but I guess you got to hit a home run. But they pick people at random who are here in the ballpark. Is that right? I think it is. Otherwise, why would you put it up on the scoreboard? Why would you do it anyway? Here's Dave Henderson. Runner at first base. Turn, a throw to first by Mcguire. Now there is activity in the Yankee bullpen as Dave Righetti and Neil Allen begin to throw. Dave Henderson, tying run at the plate. He's 0 for 3. Mcguire delivers, and the pitch is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Righetti pitched here last night. Got the save. Mcguire throws, and Henderson backs away from an inside pitch, 2-0. Like I said before, you had the feeling that you're just going through the lull before the storm. And you deal with this Oakland ball club. What Mcguire needs right now is what Tommy John was able to reach back for last night. The old 6-4-3. Javier opened the inning with a pinch single to left field. Henderson has struck out twice, fly to left. Lead at first by Javier, and the pitch to Henderson inside, ball 3. 3-0. Jose Canseco on deck. Recall that Righetti came in the ball game last night to face faced Henderson, the right-handed batter. But then Canseco, the pitch is inside, ball 4. And the tying runs are on with nobody out here in the 8th inning.
Mcguire kept trying to work Henderson inside. That's the way he likes to pitch right-handers. He likes to keep that ball in on the fists and run that fastball in, but he couldn't get it on the corner. He kept missing off the plate inside.
Well, here comes Lou Piniella. And if you like to walk slowly to the mound as a manager to allow your bullpen a little extra time, you can warm up quite a few guys out there by the time it would take you to walk from the dugout to the mound here in this ballpark. And Lou, who can charge out there when he's of a mind to do so, as he did earlier in the game, this time has reached the mound finally and is discussing the situation with Mcguire and Skinner and probably waiting. Well, he's going to stay with Mcguire. I thought perhaps he was waiting for Jim Evans, the home plate umpire, to come out and find out what's going on, but he'll stick with Mcguire. Or perhaps at least until he gets back to the dugout and comes back out again. Jose Canseco, the hitter. 1 for 3 today with a double and a run scored. Mcguire struck him out in the 6th inning. Runners lead. Here's the pitch, and Canseco bounces it foul. Ball bounces over third base coach Jim Lefevre. No balls, 1 strike. Mcguire looks at second and throws, and Canseco hits it in the air, right field and deep. Back goes Winfield. It's gone. A 3-run homer for Jose Canseco, and the Oakland Athletics have taken a 5-4 lead. Canseco, his 35th home run of the season, as he demonstrates once again the incredible strength he possesses in driving that ball like a bullet to the opposite field. He just simply lined it over the right field wall.
You've been talking about that storm. Well, the eye of the storm stepped up there when Canseco stepped in to hit, and 24 now of his 35 home runs have either tied or put the A's ahead in a ball game.
So Oakland takes a 5-4 lead, and here's Carney Lansford, and the pitch is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Mcguire back to the plate, and Lansford grounds one past third base, fair ball, and through the Oakland bullpen. Lansford's got speed enough to try for 3. He takes a turnaround second and holds as Henderson fields it cleanly and fires back in. And that's going to be all for Mcguire. As Lou Piniella has put out the call for Neil Allen. So Mcguire is through after giving up in order a single, a walk, a 3-run homer, and a double. So as Neil Allen comes on from the bullpen, we've got a break in the action. We're in the 8th inning. The score is Oakland 5, the Yankees 4. You're listening to the Yankees station,
where people make the difference. Dave Dawson in the morning on WABC.
For white people call up and complain they don't want the Negro College Fund. Why do they have that? And why do they have the NACP?
Yeah.
Pick themselves up by their own bootstraps.
That's one of my message. That's what I say.
Which way do you want it?
Pick yourself up by your own bootstrap.
Or which way do you want it? Either we have our own institutions in which we are picking ourselves up by our own bootstraps, or you have it the other way.
Oh, hey, wait, that's interesting. You may have me there.
Dave Dawson, mornings on WABC.
As Neil Allen takes over for the New York Yankees, the Oakland Athletics will send up Dave Parker to bat for Don Baylor. Nobody out, 8th inning. Oakland 5, Yankees 4, thanks to Canseco's drive over the right field wall. Lansford at second base. Neil Allen throws to Dave Parker, and the pitch is in for a strike. On the members-only scoreboard, Mets over the Dodgers today, 2-1. Cincinnati got by the Cubs 6-4. The other National League games will be played tonight. American League final, Toronto beat Texas 7-4. White Sox and Indians rained out. They'll play 2 tomorrow. Allen to Parker with a pitch that swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. Was Minnesota 8 and Kansas City 6, and the rest of the American League action, including Milwaukee and Detroit. Pitch, and you almost had a feeling he looked like he was changing his grip on the ball just before he released it. Sometimes the guy doesn't feel comfortable one way. Maybe makes an adjustment, I don't know. Didn't fool Skinner, however. Pitch to Parker is waved at him, missed strike 3. Parker strikes out. And here is Mark Mcguire. You look at the 1-2 combination of Mcguire and Canseco, or Canseco and Mcguire, and you figure these guys will probably be teammates for a while, and as teammates, going to hit a lot of home runs, but the most potent 1-2 combination in baseball is teammates. Hit the most home runs. Here's the pitch to Mcguire, and a check swing, and the ball gets by Skinner, and Lansford will move to third. Mcguire started to offer at the pitch and held up, and the ball got by Joel Skinner, enabling Lansford to advance. It was a curveball, and it hit right in front of Skinner's glove and got past him, so it scored a wild pitch. Yankees bring the infield in with 1 out. And the delivery, and it hit off the helmet of Mcguire, and he's going after Neil Allen. And there's a big pileup on the mound, and Allen saying, hey. Nobody likes to get hit with a pitch, but you got to be a little overly sensitive to go charge the mound on a pitch like that.
Earlier in the year, I think it was the first week of the season, Mark Mcguire was flunked a couple of times. And it's been a while since he's been hit, but he didn't waste any time. If you're going to go after, I guess that's the way you do it. You don't want to waste any time.
You don't be like Pedro Guerrero.
You want to mince words, so he just went out there. Couple of guys, it was interesting in watching. You always try to watch who pairs off. A couple of Tampa fellas going at it, more or less wrestling just to try to move everybody out of there. But Lou Piniella and Tony La Russa were grabbing each other as they were off to the side of the pack trying to grab others away. So the two managers, a couple of guys out of Tampa. As Mcguire charged, Neil Allen just looked at him and looked at his hands and said, hey, what are you doing? I didn't throw at you on purpose. And then he waited for the 6'5" Oakland first baseman to come out, and just as Mcguire started to lunge, Allen ducked down, tried to get him about knee high.
Well, the umpires are trying to sort all of this out right now. This seems to be the hottest one of all.
You know, you watch certain people in a brawl like this to try to pick out. I wish I would have zeroed in somehow on Jose Canseco to see who he went after.
Interesting. Mcguire cocked his arm to throw a punch, and the last minute he didn't do it. Yeah, he seemed like he was going to unload. Allen kind of got
off. That's when Neil Allen ducked down. As soon as he saw that right arm of Mcguire
didn't look like he back at that point, like he knew what he wanted to do. But yeah, you're going to play the game of baseball, you're going to get hit with a pitch. And there are times, the other day, it was obvious. You know, Richard Dotson, the whole world knew that he threw deliberately. But Allen has been ejected from the ball game.
So has Mark Mcguire.
I have the feeling that Allen has been thrown out simply to keep peace in Oakland. I think he's been sacrificed in this game, you know, because, again, acknowledging the fact that nobody likes to get hit with a pitch. We understand that. And Neil Allen is not exactly in a position where You know, he can afford to throw at anybody even if he wanted to. I mean, this is a tight ball game. It's 5-4. He's got a runner at third base. It's not exactly the time you want to unload on somebody.
Hey, you look back at the beginning of the ball game, first time up for Jack Clark when he was facing Bob Welch, a guy who we were talking about has hit 10 batters this year. Welch threw one of the better knockdowns. I don't know if he meant it or not, but one of the better ones we've seen this year. Clark flattened at the plate.
I'll tell you something, there are a lot of people who pay attention to what goes on in this game and will take note of Mcguire's reaction. And he may find himself going down now quite a bit when pitchers find out if he's that sensitive to pitches that, you know, come close, which is part of the game and have to be part of the game. I mean, again, we're not talking about deliberately trying to hit a guy in the head. That's another story.
You have to watch out for those 6'5" redheads.
Well, Hipólito Peña comes on to pitch for the Yankees as Allen is out. Mcguire is out. Who'd they put in the run for him? That Jennings? Yeah, Jennings has gone in to run. We'll pause for station identification on the New York Yankees radio network.
New York Yankee baseball on Talk Radio 77 WABC, New York's Yankee station.
Hank Greenwald with Tommy Hutton at the Coliseum in Oakland, where in the aftermath of the incident that just took place here, Oakland now has runners at first and third with one out, and Hipólito Peña, who was with the Yankees briefly and somewhat ineffectively earlier in the season before he caught the shuttle back to Columbus, will take over and see what he can do. Would be interesting to know the thought processes of the umpire in terms of whether they believe that Allen deliberately threw.
If in fact had, let's say, Mcguire not charged the mound, would Jim Evans, the home plate umpire, had ejected Allen thinking that he threw at him on purpose anyway?
Terry Steinbach will come up and bat for Polonia.
But the key, and you brought the point out, you're not going to throw at a guy's head and risk throwing one over his head back to the backstop with a runner at third base in a one-run ball game. You might do it if you're down by 10.
Runners at first and third. Steinbach hitting .255, but has hit Yankee pitching extremely well this season.
Hey, look at Mattingly's uniform. He was on the bottom of that pile.
Lansford, the runner at third. Peña throws, and the first pitch is inside and low. Oakland leads it 5-4. Steinbach hitting .375 against the Yankees this year, and .389 in his brief major league career. Bounces one foul wide of third base. The guys in this business, pitchers especially, always interested in learning something a little bit more about a hitter.
This would be a great line. You'd hear pitchers talking about certain hitters. Hey, you knock him down first time up and he's yours the rest of the day.
Peña kicks and delivers, and the pitch is hit high and foul without a play into the seats back of first base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. When Richard Dotson hit Tony Armas last, what was it, Sunday, or was it
Henry Cotto?
Or Henry Cotto, I'm sorry, in Seattle. There's no question. I mean, he threw at him deliberately. Now the pitch, and it's rolled up the first base line. Charged by Mattingly, comes to the plate. The slide, the tag, he's out. Out at the plate. Lansford cut down by Mattingly's throw. Moving to second base was Jennings. Good play by Mattingly as he charged the ball, got a good jump. The ball, and it was a spinner. It was one of those cue shots off the bat of Steinbach.
It wasn't hit hard, and when you get one of those cue shots hit to you, you usually like to lay back on it and see which way it's going to go. But Mattingly couldn't do that. He wanted to charge and get the play at the plate. And so he came in hard, scooped it up, and threw on the run. Skinner almost stretched out like a first baseman. He came down with a tag and got Lansford.
Now Mike Gallego comes into the ball game and is going to run for Steinbach. Runners at first and second. 2 out. Ron Hasse, the hitter. Jennings at second. Gallego at first. Pena throws a pitch in the dirt, scooped nicely by Skinner. 1 ball, no strikes. Oakland 5, Yankees 4, bottom of the 8th inning. Look back at second base, and the pitch is high and inside. 2-0. Scott Nielsen works in the Yankee bullpen. Yankees have used 4 pitchers now this afternoon with the entrance of Pena here in the 8th inning. Left-hander delivers, and the ball is bounced slowly towards second. Picked up by Randolph, throws to first for the out. Tough play, too, because the runner, Gallego, ran right in front of Randolph just as he was ready to field the ball. But the Oakland Athletics come up with 3 runs. There were 3 hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the 9th. Oakland 5, Yankees 4.
87 convertible, fully loaded, black with tan interior.
Station wagon, excellent condition, low mileage, best offer.
2-door coupe, AM/FM stereo, sunroof, power steering, power brakes like new.
If you're looking to buy a car or trying to sell one, choose from hundreds of listings or sell the car you've got every day in the classified section of the New York Daily News.
Just arrived. Truckloads of new hatchbacks, sedans, 4x4s, vans, immediate delivery, manufacturer's warranty, on-the-spot financing, trade-in.
And in the sports section, you'll find pages and pages of new cars, used cars, trucks, vans, RVs, everything.
The place to turn is the Daily News.
Buy, sell, or lease every kind of car every single day in the classified section and the sports pages of the New York Daily News.
The place to turn is the Daily News. New York's hometown paper.
Isn't it a hassle getting your car fixed these days, especially if they don't have the right equipment? At Goodyear Certified Auto Service retailers, we've got computers to tell you what's wrong with your car and trained mechanics who can fix things right. So, let Goodyear Certified Auto Service take you home.
Available at Goodyear Auto Service Centers in Yonkers, White Plains, Jericho, Comac, Patchogue, Fort Jefferson, Coram, and Huntington, New York.
Financial advice from Bob Brinker after the game on WABC.
Changes for the Oakland Athletics. Dennis Eckersley has come on to do the pitching here in the 9th inning. Doug Jennings, who ran for Mcguire, stays in the ball game, will play first base. Stan Javier, who touched off that rally with a pinch single, will stay in the ball game and play left field. So Eckersley, who has been the ace of the bullpen for the Oakland Athletics, in quest of his 37th save, he's facing Willie Randolph to lead it off in the first pitch. He is in there for a strike. Oakland leading 5-4. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Canseco's 3-run homer in the 8th has turned this one around. Eckersley throws, strike 2 call to Randolph, who's unhappy with the call by plate umpire Jim Evans.
Another thing that Eckersley is going after in that 37 saves would be a club record.
Throws to Randolph and misses low outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Bill Caudle had 36, 1984 for the A's.
Well, you know he's going to go by that by a goodly margin as Randolph fouls one back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mahorsic is on the hook for this ball game, having given up the go-ahead runs. Now the pitch to Randolph, and it's popped in the air, wide at first base, playable for Jennings in foul territory. He's drifting with it and makes the catch. Say what's fair for one side is fair for the other, but you can also say it's another Oakland Coliseum out right there. What would you estimate, just for curiosity's sake, how many rows back would that have been, let's say, at Yankee Stadium over there?
Say about 20 rows back.
It's got to be 20 rows. Exactly. Here's Don Mattingly. 1 out, 9th inning. And the pitch is in there for a strike. Mattingly's home run put the Yankees in front in this game. They had a 4-0 lead at one stage. Eckersley delivers and misses with that one. Mattingly's home run in the 3rd inning made it 1-0. Yankees got 3 in the 4th before Oakland started coming back. Eckersley winds and throws, and Mattingly swings and pops it up. Second base. Gallego is there and waiting. He's got it. 2 away here in the 9th. So Eckersley sets down the first 2 men to face him in the Yankee half of the 9th inning. And this crowd of 43,074 ready to chalk up another victory. However, before Eckersley gets that one in the win column for his ball club, all that stands between that happening is Dave Winfield. Formidable opponent. Here's the pitch, and Winfield takes the strike. We're in the top half of the 9th inning. Oakland leading 5-4. Got 5 runs on just 6 hits this afternoon. The line, the pitch, and Winfield, strike 2. Started to go, held up on the swing. The pitch was called a strike. 0-2 the count.
Eckersley was able to paint that outside corner with that last pitch.
Well, they're on their feet at the Coliseum. Winfield stands in. No balls, 2 strikes. The line. Here's the pitch, and Winfield grounds it to short. Big hop. Grabbed by Weiss. Throws to first. Ball game is over. 3 up, 3 down in the 9th. Final score. Oakland 5, Yankees 4. Back with the totals after this.
This is your last chance. Nissan has been telling you that their big cashback program was about to end. Well, hopefully you listened and hurried into a Nissan dealer for a great deal and cash back. Lots of cash back. If not, you better get moving, because you only have until September 6th to cash in on the Nissan Cashback Closeout. After September 6th, you can forget about $300 to $2,000 cash back on selected Nissan cars and $500 to $700 cash back on hard-body trucks. Remember, after September 6th, there is no more cash back from Nissan. It's over. Finished. Finito. A done deal. So get over to your nearest Nissan dealer now. Remember, September 6th is your last chance for cash back from Nissan. This is a limited time offer and varies by model. Dealer contribution may affect final negotiated price at participating dealers. And, in case you didn't get it, cash back from Nissan ends Tuesday, September 6th.
Play New York's lottery. Gonna make you feel so fine.
Get into a winning state of mind with Lotto, the game with the biggest jackpot of them all. Lotto jackpots start in the millions of dollars and can go much higher.